What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So kind of out of nowhere this morning, ESPN dropped their top 100 players or top 100 player predictions for this upcoming season. It really makes no sense why they drop it a week into the season compared to a week before. I don't know what ESPN is doing. They're like the top dog. They should be on top of this. But they did drop this top 100, and I have not seen it. We're going into it raw. We're going into it blind. I thought it'd be much more fun than if I had notes written up on, oh, they got this wrong. Oh, they got this wrong. I thought it'd be more authentic and more fun to kind of experience this blindly, just be shocked with some of their picks, see if I end up agreeing with them. And also, I assume some of you guys haven't seen it as well. So we're going to go through this without knowing what's to come, what's to follow. So here it is. NHL rank top 100 player predictions for the 2023 NHL season. So how are we expected to rank them? We're going to explain what this is. We asked the ESPN panel of more than 50 broadcasters, analysts, reporters, and editors to rate players based on how good they'll be for the 2023-2024 season compared to their peers. Emphasis was placed on their value for this upcoming season, which means players that are currently injured but expected to return might be lower than others. So with that, I'm going to assume a guy like Andrei Vasilevsky is going to be decently low if they're factoring in the injuries. So that's definitely something to monitor. If he's not top 25, some people might lose their mind, but there is some context to this. All right, let's just dive into it. 100 Hurdle makes sense. He can give you 60, 70 points. Ryan O'Reilly, still a good second line center, I'd say. No longer. He dropped a decent amount going from 55 to 99. Owen Power, I understand he's going to be a good top pair defenseman now. Bobrovsky, we're already starting to see Bobrovsky kind of shit the bed. He has an 874 and a 364 or something ridiculous like that. He's starting to slow down. Did just get a win against the Devils, though, but he didn't play that great. Morgan Rielly, having a good start to the season. I think this is about fair. He's a top 25 defenseman. JT Miller might be a little bit underrated. He was still point per game last year. Scrolling down. John Tavares, makes sense. Drew Doughty. Jacob Trouba over Matt Barzal. I don't know if I agree with that one. Obviously, that's an Islanders-Rangers thing, but Matt Barzal, yes, he was hurt last year, but he still was 70 point per game pace. He's still a top 75 player. I think that's a little ridiculous. And having the Tavares and Doughty, I think Jacob Trouba shouldn't be on this list. He's not. Jacob Trouba isn't as bad as some people make him out to seem. He's still a good second pairing guy, maybe a low end number 2, but he's not a legit top 30 defenseman. Bedard at 88. Bedard checks in at 88. I think that's underrated. I think that's underrating him. I'll be honest. I think he's already a top 60 player. He should be around 70 to 75 points this year on not that good of a Blackhawks team. On any other team, I think he would be point per game, 40 goals. We're going to see it. We're going to have to see who's ahead of him. Brandon Montour makes sense to be ahead of him. Brandon Montour is a little bit of a tough guy to rank, considering he is going to be hurt. So yeah, that's why he is low. But even if he was healthy, I don't think he's going to repeat what he did last year. Nazem, I'm taking Connor Bedard over Nazem Kadri, 1,000%. Kadri's still solid, but Caulfield, I'm also probably taking Bedard. That might be a little bit low for Caulfield. Maybe a little bit low. Alex Pietrangelo, that's fair. He's still a solid number 1. Besser. See, this is weird. They did this a week into the season. So Brock Besser now might not seem that insane of a take, but if they put this out before the start of the season, I'd be like, Brock Besser that high. But now obviously he has 4 goal game against the Oilers. Brat, I think that might be a little bit low. We're going to have to come back to that. Slavin at 79. Demko, I think, is fair. I think he's going to have a good season. Jacob Slavin at 79. I think Mort Seider, that's about a fair placement. I cannot have Mort Seider over Slavin, Boldy over Slavin, Kyrou over Slavin, Taze at 75. It's starting to lose me. I can understand Bedard low, Jacob Trouba maybe being that high, but Slavin and Taze that low. PLD, fine. Scheifele, fine. Jake Gensel at 71. Especially because if Jake Gensel missed the first 2 to 3 weeks with injury, I can understand that. 71 for a guy that gives you 35 to 40 goals consistently. Huberdeau, I think they are under. Kyle! I was about to speak on Huberto. Kyle Connor at 69. This is a guy that had 47 and 47 2 years ago. Last year was still point per game. That's crazy. That is crazy. Kyle Connor. Let's see who they have ahead of goddamn Kyle Connor. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins over Kyle Connor. Beniers over Kyle Connor. That's nuts. That makes no sense. That DeBrincat, I think DeBrincat's fair, but again, a guy like Kyle Connor below. Toffoli had a 73-point season last year. He's going to be good on the Devils. Werenski is hurt already, but is a good number one. Morrissey, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. People are going to say he's too low. I think he's going to slow down a little bit this year. Lindholm, again, how's Elias Lindholm ahead of Kyle Connor? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Brett Burns, fair. Quinn Hughes at 60. That's, dude, Tays at 75, Slavin at 74, Hughes at 60. That doesn't even make sense. I get if they're saying like, oh, teams that are not going to make the playoffs, they should be lower. But like, Slavin is on one of the best teams in hockey. Tays is on one of the best teams in hockey. They're both top 10 defensemen. Quinn Hughes is top 10 defenseman. Who the hell do they have ahead of these? See, like, okay, that's bad. Jonathan Marchessault, great playoffs. Don't get me wrong, great playoffs. He played fantastic. That is recency biased. If you have Jonathan Marchessault ahead of Hughes, DeBrincat, Kyle Connor, whatever, all these guys. How can you have Jonathan Marchessault, who was very good, but puts up like 55, 60 points in regular season, and then had one fantastic playoff run? That's ridiculous. Timo Meier, slow start to the year, still should pot like 35. Vasilevsky, I feel like people are going to clip this, and be like, that's ridiculous. It makes sense. It does make sense if he's going to miss 2 months of the season. Chris Letang, fair. Clayton Keller, maybe a little bit low. I don't know. But 55 isn't that bad. Larkin, Sergachev. Seth Jones clocks it at 52 ahead of Sergachev. I was actually commenting them. I'm like, okay, Letang's good, Keller's good, Larkin's good, Sergachev's good. Then Seth Jones comes out of nowhere ahead of Quinn Hughes, Timo Meier. Dude, that is not. I'm like a Seth Jones defender to a degree. That's the weird thing. Like, I think he gets shit on too much. I could maybe see him in the 90 to 100 range. I don't think he's like a horrible defenseman anymore, but the fact that he is at 52 is nuts, dude. That is nutty. Saros at 51, I'd bump him up. Hamilton, 49. Chikrin, 48. Olmark, gonna have a bit of a down year. Fiala, fair. Okay, we're starting to get into some like decent territory, which means there's going to be like an egregious one soon. Tage Thompson, 44. I can't. It's not good. It's not good because he did just have 47 and 47. I do think he is not going to have that good of a season this year. I think he's going to be around like low 40s and 40s, but 44 is very low. Lindholm, I don't think he's going to be as good. Zibanejad's low. Carlson's fair. Gaudreau, Stone, Ovechkin. I think that's fair. I think they're rating Ovechkin pretty fair in that. Marchand. All right, this hasn't been that bad. There's definitely be something coming up soon that's like horrible. Panarin, fair. Isha over Panarin. Ranger fans aren't gonna like that. But Sorokin, I'd probably bump him up a little bit. Back-to-back years of 924 and 925. Heiskanen, Shesterkin. Shesterkin is my Vezina pick, so I obviously agree with that. Yossi, Dahlin, McAvoy, point. All right, so it's actually like, once they get into the top 40, it's not that bad. Tim Stützle, 21. I haven't seen Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk's about to be top 20 over Tim Stützle. I mean, Brady Tkachuk's playing better right now, but that's interesting. Mitch Marner at 20. Okay. Oh, wait, I forgot. Crosby at 23. That's a little low. I think he's going to have a very good season. Brady Tkachuk at 19. Top 20 player from Brady Tkachuk. He just barely missed out on my actual top 50. So I think that is very high. I think he is going to be very good this year. Be like 90 points. But top 20 seems fucking ridiculous. Victor Hedman at 18. He has 5 points in 3 games right now. He has like a 38% expected goals percentage, which isn't that good. I think that's a little bullish. Kaprizov, 17. Pettersson, 16. That's fair. Barkov. Hellebuck, the number one goalie at 14. I would have Shesterkin and I would have Sorokin ahead of him for sure. For sure. But again, this is how good they think they're going to do this season. But I don't think the Winnipeg Jets are set up for that much success, which is weird. All right, let's move on into the top 13. Adam Fox, 13. That's low if this was looking at them overall as a player. I don't have Adam Fox finishing as a Norris finalist. I had Quinn Hughes and Rasmus Dahlin, so I guess I can't say that ridiculous. If they're just talking about this upcoming season, how good they'll be. Jason Robertson, Matthew Tkachuk, Pasta 10. I think Tkachuk is going to not replicate the exact season, but I think he's low. Pasta. Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel 9th? That's a little crazy for me because he's a guy that he's not injured right now, but when you're talking about injuries, you got to account for like a 10-game injury, and he wasn't even above a point per game last year. They have Jack Eichel ahead of a guy that had 60 goals last year, a guy that had 109 points, a guy that had 107 points. That's crazy. Norris runner-up. Jack, that is, again, with Jonathan Marchessault, how they had him 59th. That is recency bias. That is cup bias, 1,000%. Kucherov, 8. I think he's going to be 100-plus points. Rantanen at 7. I think his goal scoring is going to come back a little bit. He's going to have like 45 to 50, but he might score some more points. So I think that's a little bit high. Leon at 6. As long as he's healthy, he should be second in the NHL in points just because he plays with McDavid. I can't get down with that. Matthews at 5. So this doesn't make sense. So this in this, they're saying Matthews opened the season with a hat-trick performance. Like, why did you make this list after the season? Like, the hindsight, yeah, if now everybody's going to pick Matthews to win the goddamn Rocket Richard. That is stupid. This is, so they literally mentioned that he already won the ESPN, just a bunch of fools. Jack Hughes, number 4. I don't hate it. If we're talking about just this upcoming season, I said he was going for 115, going to be a Hart finalist. I don't hate it. It is bold to have him ahead of, again, Matthews and Draisaitl. In terms of full players, I think that is ridiculous, but McKinnon 3rd, fair. Makar 2nd, I love to see that. Makar's my second best player in the entire world. And then Connor McDavid, number 1. Who do they have for honorable mentions? I know Dobson, geez, that has aged poorly. Adam Fantilli that's ridiculous. Adam Fantilli got an honorable mention. Adrian Kempe should have been on this list, man. 40 goals last year. No Jared McCann, honorable mention. That's ridiculous. Ahead of a guy like Zegras. Kreider, fair. Verhaeghe should have been on this list. Yeah, overall, not that big of a fan. There's definitely, let's go through it. Let's just rapid fire it. Yeah, I think Jack Hughes at 9 is ridiculous. Brady Tkachuk too high. Actually, from like 45 to 25, it wasn't that bad. It's like 45 to 70, it's bad. But beyond that, it's not that horrible. It is pretty bad, though. Seth Jones, 52. Keller, 55 is a little low. Vasilevsky, yeah, this is probably the most egregious. Jonathan Marchessault and Seth Jones ahead of Quinn Hughes. Yeah, Kyle Connor, 69. He's not, I don't get how you can have Connor Hellebuck so high. If you have Connor Hellebuck so high, you're assuming that the Jets have a pretty decent season, but then you have Kyle Connor, 69. Just doesn't make sense in my opinion. Yeah, Gensel 71's too low. Tays 75. He's going to be great again this year. Slavin at 79. He was at 6. They just don't respect Slavin at all. Damn. 69 last year too. Brat's too low. Bedard's too low. Yeah. Trouba should be off the list. Just overall, a pretty weird list. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about it? Do you think ESPN got it right, or is this just an utter joke of a list? I think that, again, for the most part, they do get it right, but there's a couple of egregious examples. So overall, I would give this like a C+, B-. I don't know. See you guys in the next one, though. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Adios.